I'm so glad it's Friday. I hope you guys have a really good weekend. I'm really excited. Toward the end of this month, I will have 8 years sober. That is so huge for me. I never thought that I could ever say that. I never thought, honestly, that I could say 1 year, 6 months. There was a time where I couldn't get past 3 days for years, except for being locked up. Um, I spent a lot of time in and out of the county. I would do a couple months, spend a couple months on something petty, misdemeanor, get out, stay out for a couple months, go back, get out. Just a cycle that I couldn't break, and that went on for about 5 or 6 years, and then I went to prison for 2, and I had about 6 months of clean time before I went to prison. I had a charge, and it was a 1 to 5. In West Virginia, you only do half your time to knock it out, basically, to where you get out and you don't have to be on paper or parole. I already had 6 months in, so I only had 2 years to do. Now, I did get a option to go into a recovery house and DRC. I had to do DRC, and then once I graduated from that, then I had to do 5 years of regular probation. Now, being on a program like that, if you mess up, and it doesn't even have to do with your addiction, like if you say you were somewhere, but you were really somewhere else, they can violate you for that. They can make you start all over. I met my now husband on Facebook, and they found out I was talking to him. They really didn't want you seeing anybody or talking to anybody while being in the program. And if you did want to see somebody, you basically had to like jump through hoops and get permission. You had to give them his social security number. Like I would have to ask him for his social security number, give it to my probation officer. They would do a background check. He would have to come in and do tests, and he was willing to do that for me. But once they found out he was a felon, even though he had clean time, was not on probation, had moved away from Baltimore, completely started his whole life over. They did not want me to be with him because of that. And I thought that was so wrong, because they would talk about people should give addicts another chance. They shouldn't judge. And here you are judging someone that, based on their past, you're not wanting me to socialize with. And I understood where they're coming from. I do, because people can fall back into old habits. But there was just something different about him. I just knew he was the one. And so I was about 6, 7 months in, and they had found out that when I went on my home pass, he had came down to see me and pretty much violated me for it. It was going to make me start all over. And I just really gave it some thought. I being in DRC and then having to do 5 years of probation after that, I was potentially looking at 10 or more years on paper, depending on how many times they would violate me, how many times they would start me over, or I could go and do a 2-year sentence and just get it over with. And that's what I decided to do. I just thought, I'm just going to get it done with. I thought that was the best decision for me. Not everyone agreed with that, but that's what I wanted to do. So that's what I went and did. I went and did my 2 years. And it really did change me for the better. It really did. But then, so I got locked up in the end of January of like 2018, somewhere in January of 2018, and had 7 months clean still. And then in May, found out my mom passed away. And that broke me. She was like a mom to me. I was so close with her. It seriously broke me. And some stuff came in, and I ended up relapsing. And I swear by the grace of God, like, when I passed out that night, like when I fell asleep, I seen her in my dreams. And I woke up and I vowed to never use again. And I haven't. And so that's pretty much started my clean time after that. So that's, where my clean time starts. And so at the end of this month, I will have 8 years clean. In prison, it sucks. There's people in there who absolutely deserve to be in there, but it was a blessing. And I met some really good people in there that really just made some mistakes. And it was crazy in there. I got stories for days, but that's for another day. But yeah, I am so glad I made the decision to do that, because I wouldn't be where I'm at in life today. I'm so proud of how far my husband and I have come. He'll have 9 years clean in August. And we didn't know each other during our addiction. We got together during clean time. Well, I had relapsed one time when I was locked up. But that, like, we didn't, like, know each other during, like, our long stretch of addiction. So when I got out, he was there waiting for me. He drove almost 5 hours to come and get me and brought me back to live with him. Start over. I literally walked out with what I was wearing is what I owned. I wore his clothes for a while. And we worked really hard to get where we're at. I'm super proud of us. So if you're struggling with addiction, please reach out and get help. It's not worth it. You're only going to end up in two places, and that's not here anymore or in jail. And it's no life. It's really not. I promise you there's a better life. So, yeah, I hope you guys have a really good weekend. So glad to be home. Have a good day.